Hi, I'm Monique. This class is a stretch and rest class. We will be focusing on our legs, and our ending pose will be wide-legged seated pose, or seated A. The theme of this class is peaceful pause. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." As we slow down in this class, I want you to pause and give all your worries to God and feel the peace from Him as we let go and trust Him. Don't give Him parts, give Him everything. Whether you think it is too small or too big, He wants it all. In this class, you will need a yoga block and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, a pile of cushions is just fine. Let's get started. Start with your feet together, weight evenly spread. You can bring your hands to your heart in prayer pose, or you can have one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. We're going to start to focus on our breath. Notice your breath. Is it fast? Is it slow? I want you to take an inhale through your nose, deep, full and slow, all the way up to your collarbones. Then exhale through your nose, all the way down to your lower belly. Try and keep this cycle of breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And as we focus on our breath, it helps us to ignore the distractions around us. We're going to come to the top of our mat with your feet together. Inhale your arms out and up, relax your shoulders, then exhale arms down, fold from your hips for forward bend. You can have a bend here in your knees, just making sure your sit bones are high. Inhale, come to your fingertips, look out for half bend. Then exhale back to forward bend. We're going to step our feet back to downward facing dog. Your knees can be bent here if you'd like. Check that your feet are hip width apart and your ribs are going to your spine. Sit bones high. Plant through your hands and your left leg. Inhale your right leg up for three-legged downward facing dog. Then exhale, bring it into your chest, plant between your hands. Then your back foot is coming to a heel-to-heel alignment, 45-degree angle. Bend your front leg and inhaling up. So your hips are square, so engaging your buttocks to pull your right hip back. Inhale your arms out and up for warrior one. Checking that your front knee is over your ankle. Relax your shoulders and breathe here. Arms down, plant them either side of your foot. Step that front foot back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to your hands, and step your feet up to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend your knees and rolling up. Let's repeat it on the other side. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, arms down, fold from your hips for forward bend. Inhale, come to your fingertips for half bend. Then exhale, back to forward bend. Stepping your feet back to downward facing dog. Planting through your hands and your right leg. Inhale that left leg up for three-legged downward facing dog. Hips square. Exhale, tuck it in. Plant between your hands. Then your back foot comes to heel alignment, 45 degrees. Bend that right leg. Inhale up. Check that your hips are square, spine is long. Inhale, arms up. Relax the shoulders for warrior one. Breathing here. And letting any worries you have float up to God. He cares about everything. He's always listening. Arms down, plant them either side of your front foot, step back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to your hands, step your feet up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend your knees, rolling up to mountain pose. Inhale your arms out and up. Relax the shoulders. Then exhale, arms down, fold from your hips for forward bend. Inhale, come to your fingertips for half bend. Exhale, back down to forward bend. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. Plant through your hands and your left foot. Inhale that right leg up. Then exhale, bring it to your chest. We're going to come and plant it near your hands. So the knee is near your right hand and the foot is near your left hand for pigeon pose. So the closer it is to your hip, the easier it is. If you're finding that your right hip is a bit uneven, you can place a blanket or a block underneath. So inhale, stay here if you would like, or you can exhale, fold down and extend your arms. And breathe here, feeling a beautiful release from your right hip. Feeling the tension go. Then head up, walk your hands in, plant through your hands, curl that back toe and step the leg back to downward facing dog. So let's do it on the other side. So plant your hands on that right leg. Inhale, lift that left leg up. Exhale, tuck it into your chest and lowering the outer side of the leg down. Slide the back foot back. So left knee by your left hand and the foot by your right hand. So adjust where it is. Always listen to your body. Then stay here. Or if you'd like, you can exhale, lowering down, extending your arms out and resting your forehead down. And breathe here. I really love this pose as it just releases so much tension from my buttocks, hips and lower back. And as you're taking the time here, I want you to give all of your worries to God. Nothing is too small or too big for Him. He's always there and always is listening. Then lifting your head, walk your hands back. Curl your back toes under and step that front leg back to downward facing dog. So we're going to bend our knees here, look to our hands, and we're just going to jump up and then sitting down. So this is when you're going to need one of your blocks. So your legs are extended out in front of you, making sure that your sit bones are on the ground. So we're going to take the block and pop it on our shins. We'll inhale, arms out and up. Then we're going to exhale, fold down. You may have to adjust it a little bit and your forehead is going to rest there. If that's too low for you, you can use this side of the block and just resting there. So choose whatever feels best for you. And breathing here. Just taking this time to give everything to God. He is such a loving and faithful God. He cares for you. And He loves you just as you are. So keep breathing, inhaling And exhaling. And just making sure that your spine is nice and long. And on the inhales, just lengthening your spine. And exhale, you might sink a little bit deeper. Then slowly lift your head, place the block to your side, and coming up. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together now for butterfly pose. So the further your feet are away from your body, the easier it is. The closer they are, the deeper the stretch. So in butterfly pose, we don't want to be forcing our knees down to the ground. While we just stay here, our hips will slowly release and our knees will naturally fall down. So again, we're going to use the block, placing it just in front of our toes. We're going to inhale our arms out and up, and then exhale, folding forwards. Again, you may need to adjust wherever feels best for you. Resting your forehead on the block, or if that's a bit hard, you can bring it up onto your feet. You just might need to balance it a bit. So whatever is best. And relaxing into the pose. Breathing and releasing. And as the tension in our hips releases, release all your worries and stresses to the Lord. This is a beautiful pose that helps to calm our mind. And it's also a great pose if we have cramps. Then lifting your head and slowly coming up, placing the block to the side, then using your hands and lifting your knees up slowly, extending your legs out. We're coming into our final pose now, where we're going to use the bolster. If you don't have a bolster at home, you can just use a pile of cushions. So we're going to place it out in front, and your legs are coming out into a V. So you can place your hands behind your hips and you edge yourself forward for wide-legged seated pose. We're going to inhale our arms out and up, and exhale, we're going to fold down onto the bolster. So the side of your head down, just hugging here. And because we're going to hold this pose for a while, you might like to wiggle back a bit to make it a bit easier. You can let your feet drop in. You might like to bend your legs a little bit. Just choosing what feels best for your body. We need to find the balance between comfort and challenge. We don't want to ever feel any pain. We still want to challenge ourselves so that we can strengthen and stretch. So when you have found your place that is comfortable, just begin to focus on your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose, keeping that deep, full, slow breath. And as we pause here in this pose, I want you to be giving everything to God. Don't hold back. Don't hold back any areas that you think are too small or too big. He wants it all. He wants all of you. He loves everything about you. He is a good and loving God. So I'm going to leave you in this pose. You can stay here for as long as you would like, meditating on the word. and listening to the whispers God might have for you. Remember, He is always listening. You can always talk to Him. When you are ready to come out of this pose, plant weight into your forearms. Slowly lift your head up, taking time as you've spent a while in this pose. Bringing the weight back. Then use your hands to lift one leg in and the other. Moving the bolster and coming to a cross-legged pose. Thank you for joining me on the mat.